Okay, so gameplay footage. You can see here I brought in my voiceover clips that have to do with just the game itself, so that the middle segment that is dedicated to just the video games. And that's typically where I'll just show gameplay. Depending on the video, I might make a reference to a movie or to a clip from the show or something. And then in addition to the gameplay footage, I would also have clips for those segments. So a little bit of a movie trailer, a little bit of a Simpsons episode or something. So there would be additional footage. For this one, I didn't really talk about anything but the game, so I think the only footage I'll be showing here is gameplay itself. So the first thing is, yeah, I brought in these voice clips. I'm just going to listen to them real quick to kind of get a sense of what I need to show on the screen.
This version of Bart vs. the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues. The sacrifices include transparent sprites, lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble but flawed effort.
Okay, well, but none of that is very specific. I don't think I need specific shots or anything. I think it'll just be cutting in different uh, parts of the gameplay that I recorded, and popping that in there. So the first thing I can do is, let's see. I'll be honest. This thing here on the left is called the trimmer, and I believe it's supposed to allow you to trim footage in here and then bring it out. I haven't messed with that too much, but now that I'm here, I'm curious to try that. See what it says. Oh, there you go. So um, I've worked in some of these programs before, and yeah, my instinct told me to press the I button for the in point, O key on the keyboard for the out point. And that basically lets you set the beginning and end of any particular video clip. Uh, and I just literally just tried this for the first time. That's going to be a lot easier. Because what I used to do is drag the clip into the main timeline and edit the clip there, which is an option, but I think it just is a little more cumbersome. So I'm going to try this approach where I'm using the trimmer instead. But yeah, the first thing really to do is figure out what I want for this first voice clip. Let me play it one more time.
This version of Bart vs. the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a
See, for that, I think I want the intro. There's a little intro where the aliens talk, um, or they're just kind of laying out their plan. I think that's what I want for that portion. So, and remember, you have the frame skipping. That's comma and period. I'm going to use that. It just lets you kind of go through uh, much more slowly. Actually, that's moving too slowly. So I need the portion where they talk about this machine, which starts right about there. So I'm just skipping back through. Oop, too far. So I'm going to set my endpoint there. That's where I want my current video clip to start. And then I want them to, yeah, go ahead and talk about the ship or the machine, whatever. All right, well, that's too slow. So I'm just going to manually drag this thing. All it requires is this one ingredient. Yes, I want them to talk about that. All right, move along. Come on, buddy. No punctuation in this text. I'm an English major, so that kind of kills me that they couldn't, they didn't have the memory to plop in a period. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. That's my in, and that's my out. And presumably, oh, now that's bringing in the whole clip. It seems to be bringing in the whole clip. Just drop that in there and see what this looks like. Yep, it brought in the whole clip. We don't want that. All right. There you go. So dragging worked. So you say your in and out points, then you just click from the trimmer, drag it into the timeline, and it'll just bring in the text or the clip you chose in the trimmer. So there you go. We're learning together. I didn't know this, so now I do. And that's a lot easier than what I used to do. So, all right. So when you drag in a video clip, you'll notice that um, because the video and audio tracks are separated, the audio for that video is actually dropped into an alternate track down below. You can see here there's there's way too many audio tracks because I imported this from a different project. So we can clean that up later. For now, all that matters is you have your video, you have your audio. You'll notice that there's a little chain link or like a paperclip icon or whatever that is. That just means they're linked. Actually, yeah, it is a chain. So that means that when you chop up this video, it'll also make the same edits down to the audio. For example, if I use this slice tool right here, I just sliced this video clip into two separate video clips. And the audio is sliced or cut up to match it. And that means that if I was to delete this clip, it would delete the audio along with it because they are linked. Here I'm going to press Control Z to back up a couple of steps. I didn't want to do that. But there you go. So other controls you can tweak I hadn't touched on yet are actually I did touch on the volume. So there's that. Let's see. What can I'm trying to figure out now. Now, obviously, my audio clips here are all pretty tightly grouped. They're not going to stay that way. I tend to kind of space them out between gameplay. So I know for a fact these are going to have to move further out. So I'm just going to click and drag them out this way a little bit. Give my first clip some space. Let's pick it up from here and see what that looks like.
Simpsons game. This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay.
It looks like that sentence is finished in this clip, so I'm going to drag this one back over here. Let's move on back here. There's a move tool. I should probably be using that more. That just lets you kind of more easily drag things around. So keep that in mind as well. I I haven't used it as much, so I might not be using it as often. But yeah, it's right there. It's very good. In fact, yeah, there are all sorts of other tools here that I will not be using, but which I think are probably good for more advanced edits. Like if you're editing a 2-hour video, you probably need to use more of these things. But that's not what I'm doing. All right, listen to this one more time.
This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues.
All right, that was good. I liked the way that the text kind of rolls off screen as I. I'm wondering if I should let that video clip end.
This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable.
In fact, yeah, I'm going to drag this clip out a bit further.
This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues.
I think I want that audio to end as the text scroll here ends, right about there. So boom. I think that'll be it for this one.
This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc
Actually, a bit further back.
But it was enough time to release the one Simpsons game. This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants.
So one thing I'm noticing right away is the audio for the clip is a bit high relative to my voice. The VO should be priority. So I'm going to lower the audio for a portion of the clip, but not all of it. So one thing you can do, if you want different volume levels for your video clips. You can set volume. I don't know what the term is, but you can basically set these little markers that let you tweak the audio, the volume. Here, I'm going to hold Control, click once, that's one marker, click again for a second marker. So now I know that I'm talking. Here's my voice clip, and I want the game volume or the footage volume to be lower. So now that I set these two little markers here, I can grab this portion because you basically split the audio adjustment between these two sections. And now that lets me lower the volume here, but the overall volume remains where it was before. So that should be better.
This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues.
See, so the volume was low when I was speaking. Then it goes back up to normal when I'm not talking. But then I start talking again toward the end. So I'm going to add a couple of more markers. And I'm also going to go ahead and chop this clip because I stopped talking right about. You can see here that um, the program kind of automatically like if you have the what do they call it, slice tool. If you have the slice tool selected, it'll automatically try to figure out where you're trying to create the slice, like at the end of a voice clip or at the end of any given clip, it'll try to create the slice there. So I'm trying to slice this uh, video clip right at the end of this voice clip of mine. So right there. And I know I don't need the end of this, so I'm just going to delete it. So I selected it, delete it. It gets rid of the video and the audio. And the final thing to do is adjust this volume again. What was it? 18.67. Um, I tend to play it pretty loose with my my volumes, but I guess you should try to be consistent. So let's say it should be 16. There you go.
92, but it was enough time to release the one Simpsons game. This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues.
All right. That's good. That's that part. Next thing to do is bring over my next set of voice clips, which I think are all going to be one long section of gameplay. But let me listen to them again.
The sacrifices include transparent sprites, lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels.
I lied. I'm going to space these out a little more, just so there's actually, I think the game doesn't even have it's pretty low. Let me play these one more time, and then I'll.
The sacrifices include transparent sprites, lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble but flawed effort.
Okay. Um, so normally I would put gaps in between the voice clips like this if there was a lot of music or sound effects happening in the video, just to give the viewer some time to kind of take in what they're watching. The difference here is I think this gameplay footage is going to have like almost no audio whatsoever because it's just that's the game. It has almost no sound effects, has no music, like I just said. So I think this will be different from the usual. Let me. Um, I was about to drag in the whole clip again, which is the thing I just said I should try not to do. So instead, I'm going to go back up here. Let's go into some gameplay. See what the heck. Uh, yeah, this game is a doozy, as you can see right here. I'm going to put my starting, or what was it called again? My endpoint. I'm going to put my endpoint there. Oh man, it is just completely silent. So yeah, I don't think have to worry as much about. That happens to me every time I play this game. Is getting the knowing where to spray that one sign is just ridiculous. It shouldn't be that tough. All right, I'm gonna cut off that clip there. It's already pretty long. I'm gonna drag it in. Um, I'm curious how long did it go for? Let's see. All right, not too far out. That's fine. Let's just see how this feels when I play it that way.
but suffers a few notable issues. The sacrifices include transparent sprites, lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble but flawed effort.
So there you go. That's kind of all I have to say about the game, and you can see the game itself is pretty brief. So I think I have to chop up this one. Let me see what I say here.
And no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble.
I think I'm gonna chop this. I'm gonna drag out this voice clip. I'm gonna chop up the clip here. I'm going to drag out a little bit because what I want to see is the trying to spray paint the sign. So let's resume from there. I just chopped it up again, which means I delete this portion that I don't want. Drag this over, and let's see how that feels.
Lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble but flawed effort.
All right, that's going to do it for this gameplay clip. And I'm definitely influenced by the fact that there's so many ports of this particular game that I've seen this more or less the same footage over and over. So I feel like I don't need to show that much. Oof, that already feels pretty like there's a lot of silence between all these clips, right? So let me play it one more time.
92, but it was enough time to release the one Simpsons game. This version of Bart versus the Space Mutants by Arc Developments featured the same alien invasion plot and gameplay, but suffers a few notable issues. The sacrifices include transparent sprites, lack of music, and no scrolling effects when navigating the levels. It was a noble but flawed effort.
Okay, see that I want to show this final portion, but it's too long, so I need to shorten it. I think I need to show from this point where he's trying to jump up there. So chop the clip, slide over to the side, get rid of that. Nope, I made an adjustment there. This is the opacity, just so you know what the line is on the videos. So for audio, you're adjusting the volume with this line. For video, you are adjusting the opacity, which I don't need to do. So I'm not touching that.
It was a noble but flawed effort.
All right, I think that's pretty good for the gameplay part. And that's it. Like I said before, this video has only the one game in it because it was the only one on this platform. So that's kind of it. All right. After this, I will pause here, and then after this, we'll pick up with the outro portion and the export of the video.